We'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Newark City Council Finance Committee to order. Members present are Mrs. Floyd, Mr. Cost, Mr. Bub, Mr. Rath, in place for Mr. Marmee and myself. The first three we have two pieces of legislation on our agenda tonight, and the first piece of legislation is consider resolution number 1546, appropriating monies for the municipal corporation. And it looks like section 1 through 3 is Mr. Loomis, and so once he gets to the podium, we'll let him talk about these requests.
Get mine done, I can get out of here. These are actually all three the same item, really. It's just funds, money from different funds for an enterprise license for our GIS system. We have a software program that we've developed called GeoAsset. Almost all the departments in the city, I believe, are using it in some form. But this is the enterprise license for that, an annual cost for that. We've been paying this for about 3 years. We failed to put it into our budget this year, and that's why we've have to come here and get the money to pay for it. So, So.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Bub.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Floyd.
That's fine.
This first question is to appropriate money out of the water projects fund. Is there any further questions or comments from the committee? Questions or comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this section on to full council, signify by saying aye. Aye. Same sign. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. The second section is $5,000 out of the sewer fund. Is there any questions or comments from the committee? Motion by Mrs. Floyd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bub. Any further questions or comments from the committee regarding this appropriation for the sewer fund? Questions or comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this section on full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries 5-0. And the third section is from the storm water fund. Any questions or comments from the committee?
Motion.
Motion, Mrs. Floyd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bub. The only question I had, Roger, was it looked like in the section title it said 10,000, and then the actual amount it was 5. But I know you want the 10 there.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Yep.
So just to correct the paperwork, I know you want 10,000 there.
Didn't catch that. Thanks.
I read everything. Any further questions or comments from the committee? Questions, comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this section on to full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Robert. Okay. Our next two sections are dealing with the employee in our property maintenance department. You see Director Rhodes is at the podium.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is just an appropriation. Let me turn this real quick. It looks like this is because of the reclassification of the inspector analyst, so we need to move some money from services general into salaries and accounts. And this is all within that department.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Bowe.
Second.
Second, Mrs. Floyd. Director Rhodes, I was going to ask, do you know what we're not going to be, now that if we're taking out of this services general, what we're not going to be spending that money originally on?
No, I'd not be prepared to speak to that, although I'll pass that on to Director Spurgeon and have him call you with an answer on that.
Any further questions or comments? Questions or comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this on full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And section 5 is the actual appropriation from the general fund. Is there any questions, comments? Motion, Mrs. Floyd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bub. Any questions, comments from the committee? Questions, comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this on to full council, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Thank you, Director Rhodes.
Thank you.
Okay. Our last piece of legislation is to consider resolution number 1547, appropriating and disappropriating monies for the municipal corporation, and all these items are listed as to be expedited. And I have a chief coming up forward.
Mr. Chair, the purpose for this money transfer is to provide for the 3 new officers that we want to hire, 1 that we've already hired, 2 that we plan to hire by the end of June. So it's kind of moving 1 salary account to kind of be the down payment for, in other words, for these officers. So.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Bowe.
Second.
There are 2 sections here. Second by Mr. Cost.
One's a disappropriation.
Correct. This first section is to disappropriate the money out of salaries. Any questions or comments? Mr. Rath?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a good reason, but why are we waiting till June?
Because we're, actually that's to save money. We need to put them in the academy, and if we hired them now, we'd just be paying them to do busy work until then, so we want to hire them just a week or 2 before the academy starts. They'll be in the academy from July 6th through January 8th. So if we wait that long, we can actually get them into the academy without paying them extra. So the conditional offers have been sent. So.
Have they responded?
Oh yeah, they're definitely interested. So.
Any further questions or comments from the committee? Questions, comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this on to full council signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. And the last section is the actual appropriation to go into the training and clothing and travel accounts. Motion, Mrs. Floyd.
Second.
Second, Mr. Bug. Questions, comments from the committee? Questions, comments from the audience? All those in favor of moving this on to full council signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That concludes the business of the Finance Committee. Capital improvements is next.
We'll call Capital Improvement Committee to order. President is myself, Mr. Rath, Mr. Roletta, Mr. Cost, and Mr. Johnson. See, Mr. Bruce is here first. Is appropriation of the unappropriated balance of the 335 Capital Improvement Fund in the amount of $375,000, street resurfacing projects, and memo appropriation. Mr. Rhodes?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to speak to the $325,000. That's for our maintenance of our streets. We're asking that this be expedited, and this will allow us to do some more paving this year. Mr. Moorhead will speak to the $50,000.
Did you want to act on that first item, or do you want to hear about both of them?
We could hear both of them.
Okay. The second item, the $50,000, is basically just a memo expense. It's an accounting line, basically. We are going to be receiving a grant, a combination grant loan from Ohio Public Works Commission in the amount of $650,000, and that will be to reconstruct West Main Street later on this summer. When we put it in the budget in October of last year, we didn't know what that number was going to be exactly. We thought it was $600,000. So 650 is a little bit more, and we need to make up the $50,000 so that the amount of money that we receive on the grant and loan can be tracked by the auditor's office. So when you look in that line item existing, it's got a $600,000 appropriation. We'll be adding $50,000 to it to match what the actual grant loan amount will actually be here.
Questions? Questions by the committee? Questions in the audience? Motion?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor, I'll go on to full council. Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Next on the agenda appropriation of the unappropriated balance of 335 capital improvement fund in the amount of $6,500, generator relocation from downtown fire station to Hollander Street Fire Station. This is 1549.
As you're aware, we're building a new fire station, but on our old downtown fire station a couple years back, there was a new generator put on that station. What we're proposing to do is take the new generator that's a couple years old now and transfer it to the Hollander station, which does not currently have a generator. So these funds would allow me to do the plumbing, the electrical, the concrete work, and the moving of the generator from one station to another. That generator is obviously not big enough to run the new fire station, but it is of ample size to run the Hollander station. And we've taken a couple quotes, and that's what it looks out to be. And it'll be nice for those guys to have a generator there in the event of a power outage. The only thing I'll point out on the account number, I'll have to ask you to do a change on the floor for that. It looks like that's going into a 203 account, and I want to get you the proper number for that to go into. The 203 is the police department account number. But I'll get you that number so we can make a change on floor.
You'll get back?
Yeah, I'll get back with you on that.
Okay. Questions from the committee? Questions from the audience?
Motion approved. Second.
Motion, the full council? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.